Hello, we're back with another Play or Pass, where we jump into some co-op and multiplayer games and give you our thoughts on whether or not they're worth picking up. And if you want to join myself and Nex for more co-op and multiplayer content, feel free to subscribe and sit back each week as we review and play through all sorts of different titles. Today we're covering Battlefield 4, a first-person shooter developed and published by EA all the way back in 2013. In the world of gaming, 8 years can be a pretty long time, especially when the franchise brings out multiple new titles to the same audience, which Battlefield has done. But despite its age, Battlefield 4 is still considered to be one of the best games in the Battlefield lineup, and to some it's even considered the best. Today, the game still has a healthy player base, populated servers, and the gameplay itself has aged pretty well considering its original release date. As a player, you join the USA, Russia, or China, and pick one of 4 classes to face off against the enemy in up to 64 player matches. And this scale is where Battlefield 4 really shines. The variation in the maps, the mixtures of close quarters and ranged gunplay, vehicle threats from land, air and sea, and a broad selection of guns, equipment and attachments means that the game gives you a lot to think about. In addition, the game modes themselves mix things up quite a bit, so whether you enjoy massive 64 style battlegrounds or the more intimate squad style gameplay, there are still plenty of options for you to choose from. Since launch, Battlefield 4 has had a number of updates, including 5 DLC packs, and the healthy community means that it remains a viable option for people looking to jump into a new first-person shooter. So we jumped in to let you know in 2021 if Battlefield 4 is a play or a pass.
Whether you're looking for huge battles with player-controlled vehicles or intimate squad-based maps, Battlefield 4 might just cover what you're looking for. As Bias has noted, it seems to have aged incredibly well over the years. The graphics are noticeably low-res compared to modern titles when you jump in, but they're good enough that you stop noticing once you start playing. The first thing to note is the matchmaking options don't reliably find games anymore. This could be down to reduced population size or the fact that the player base is split into almost 30 queue options, meaning the less popular ones never get a chance to form a game. However, you can quick join a random game or pick a server from the server list, many of which are largely populated and have communities built around them. One thing to mention about having to pick from community-run servers is you don't always have control over being on the same team as your mates. Movement has no major noticeable flaws. It's responsive, you can seamlessly vault over objects, and you automatically lean around corners when you aim into them. For game modes, people mostly play Rush, Conquest, and Team or Squad Deathmatch, which are basically well-established modes included in most other FPS titles. But you might also find matches for modes like Capture the Flag, Co-op, and Gunmaster, all with normal and hardcore options. There are a huge amount of weapons and attachments that span from close to really long range, suitable for the varying map sizes you can play on. You have limited options available when you start, most of which are class-specific, but new ones are unlocked fairly quickly through a standard ranking up system. The 4 main classes are Assault, Rifle wielding with options to use medpacks or defibs, Engineer, often using close quarters SMGs with access to guided and unguided rocket launchers, Support, holder of the light machine gun and ammo supply boxes, and Recon, the sniper class with explosives and gadgets like motion sensors. For notable elements to Battlefield 4, let's start with the gunplay. The weaponry feels balanced, and due to having normal and hardcore mode options, you can pick the type of combat that you like. The game rewards aim due to the fairly low health pools, and bullet travel and drop have to be considered when shooting from range. Vehicles are strong and come in land, air and sea variants, which tie together the larger maps when trying to get around to capture points. Scoring comes from every aspect you can contribute in game, whether that be kills, capturing points, or like me at one point, standing there like a lemon with your defib out just trying to be helpful. The spawn locations leave much to be desired, however, sometimes perfectly fine and other times appearing face to face with the same guy who's killed you 5 times over already. The medium-sized maps often lead both teams to choke points, which may suit some but doesn't lend to the run and gun style I tend to look for. Bias plays with more strategy in mind and therefore enjoys these situations. The destructible environment, however, does add some variance when this happens and can often really change the feel of the fight. Battlefield 4 still offers an experience not found in other games, mainly its larger maps, offering a single match where the full arsenal of close range to long range weaponry, vehicles and variety of classes all have a place in securing victory.
I'll be honest and say that I'm a little bit biased in this game. Since launch, me and a group of mates have regularly jumped into Battlefield 4 and continue to do so to this day. But because this is a review, I'll try and be as objective as possible. For me, this is one of the only games that captures the chaotic push and pull of a firefight. Whether you're fighting the enemy down corridors or getting pinned down on rooftops by enemy snipers, the game often puts you on the edge of your seat, as medics help up your wounded, heavy gunners rain down bullets to suppress the opposing team, and you hold your breath as you see the little red flashing markers as grenades fly past and land at your feet. The 4 classes and the customization of weapons and gear gives you enough choice to find a playstyle that works for you, and the different game modes keep things fresh if you get bored of playing the most popular 64-player Conquest over and over again. It is also worth pointing out that you're now limited to the community servers, some of which have strict rules on the use of things like explosives, shotguns, vehicles, and other various pieces of equipment. However, saying that, it's still easy to find a game, and if you have a little look around, it's easy to find a server that caters to your preferences of what's allowed and what's not allowed. Graphically, the game has aged a bit, and it can't really compete with modern titles. But it doesn't look so old that it takes away from the enjoyment of the gameplay, and the gameplay is what makes this game so great. Overall, we gave Battlefield 4 a 4 out of 5. And I imagine we'll be jumping in again at some point in the future. Let us know in the comments what you think of the game or whether or not you agree with our review. We're the Bullet Sponges, and we'll see you in the next one.